y'all, this is a part 2 of the mock draft. Everything else is pre-recorded, so if you see my shirt change, that means it was recorded yesterday or the day before. I didn't make a video saying what the video was, but this is picks 11 for 21. Picks 22 to 32 will be released tomorrow. This will be released tonight if you're watching, but these are the picks of my mock draft. If you haven't seen part 1, go see it. But this is part 2 of my NFL mock draft for 2024. Thank you, enjoy. With the 11th overall pick, the Minnesota Vikings hold it. I actually have a quarterback being taken here. I think Bo Nix gets drafted by the Vikings here. They need a quarterback. Kirk Cousins just went to the Atlanta Falcons on a 4-year deal, $100 million. And there's no way in hell I would personally run with Sam Darnold. He didn't look very bad last year on the limited plays that he played in for the 49ers, but I'm taking Bo Nix here out of Oregon. Now, a lot of people are going to look at this guy and say, well, he kind of fell off the top 5 pick. You know, a lot of people have him going towards the end of the round to a team that needs a quarterback. But the Vikings have the 11th pick here. They have a quarterback here. I can also think of Michael Penix as well, but I'll get to him in a minute. But Bo Nix is going to the Vikings here to help out their team. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Aaron Jones, who they just signed. A very solid O-line. TJ Hawkinson, who just tore his ACL. And he's probably not going to be ready for the start of the year. But this is going to help out the Vikings a lot. I don't think they'll make the playoffs next year. I don't think they're going to be as competitive as they were last year. But Bo Nix will be going to the Vikings with this pick. Alright, with the number 12 pick, this is the Denver Broncos pick. And I have them taking Michael Penix out of Washington. They need a quarterback. They don't have one. And I think after releasing Russell Wilson, they're going to need a quarterback badly. I don't think the Broncos are going to be as competitive as they were kind of towards the end of the last year. I think Michael Penix is going to be kind of a well-fitted quarterback in this team. Sean Payton, you have a somewhat decent offense. They just traded Jerry Jeudy, so they have Tim Patrick and Cortland Sutton. And Javonte Williams, who isn't the greatest running back, but he is somewhat okay. This Broncos team is horrible. They're not going to be good, and I'm going to feel bad for Michael Penix here. He's going to have no weapons here. Michael Penix is going to struggle. Don't think he is going to be some type of elite quarterback, because I think he's going to have a kind of a down year. This is going to be a bad year for the Broncos, as they're probably going to have a top 5 pick next year. That's my prediction. But the Denver Broncos with the 12th pick are going to take Michael Penix out of Washington. With the 13th pick, this is the Raiders, and the Raiders have been aggressive this free agency. They just got Christian Wilkins from the Dolphins on a 4-year deal. He was one of the best free agents available. But with this pick, I have him taking Teron Arnold, the cornerback. He's probably one of the best cornerback prospects in this draft, behind Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, but I think is the best cornerback prospect. I'm sorry. Teron Arnold's going to go here. He's going to help out that Raiders defense a lot, who Antonio Pierce has shaped very well. I think Teron Arnold is going to do well with Antonio Pierce. He's a defensive-minded head coach, by the way. And a lot of people are going to look at their offense and say, well, they don't have a quarterback. Well, they just got Gardner Minshew, who I think is a very decent quarterback with the Colts, who they had last year, and he almost made the playoffs. I think Teron Arnold is the best fit for this Raiders team. They need cornerback help, and I think this is who they're going to take with this pick. With the next pick, the 14th overall pick, the Saints hold this pick, and I think they're going to take Jason Lavin, the offensive lineman. They need offensive line help. The Saints kind of struggled with that last year, and Derek Carr didn't look very good. I don't think Derek Carr is really that good of a quarterback anyway. But they're going to take J.C. Lavin with this pick. Ryan Ramczyk is getting up there in age, and Trevor Penning, who they took a couple years ago in the draft, hasn't been that good. I know he tore his MCL and meniscus a couple years ago. He didn't really play that much. I think he missed the whole year, actually. But with this pick, I am taking Jason Lavin to team up with Cesar Ruiz and Eric McCoy on that offensive line. And a lot of people are going to look at this offense and say, well, what about their offensive weapons like receivers? Well, you take a look at Alvin Kamara. He's up there in age, and I wouldn't be shocked if they take a running back in the later rounds. Derek Carr isn't really that good, but they are kind of stuck with him. Chris Olave, who is one of the best receivers in the league, I say top 20. And then they just cut Michael Thomas, and really after that, they have nobody. Rashid Shaheed is pretty good, but he's good on punt returns. He was on there in a couple offensive plays throughout the year and scored a couple times, but man, they're kind of in a cap hell situation, so I don't know who they're going to take here. But I have them taking JC here. I think this is the perfect fit for them. Offensive line is a big problem for the Saints, but they're going to be set up for the future. I think they're going to have a better year next year, and I think they could contend for the NFC South just because that division's so bad. But I have them taking JC here. With the 15th overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts hold this pick. I think that the Colts have a bright future, and with this pick, I'm thinking they take Kool-Aid McKinstry out of Alabama. He's one of the best corners behind Teron Arnold, who I have going to the Raiders. But this team, for the Colts, they have a young future, Anthony Richardson, who unfortunately had a season-ending injury last year. He was playing very good before it. They almost made the playoffs with Gardner Minshew, and they just re-signed Kenny Moore to a 3-year deal. But I think Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to add more to that secondary, and the Colts defense is going to get good. They just re-signed Grover Stewart, and they still have a great offensive line, DeForest Buckner, who's still one of the best defensive tackles in the league. But with this pick, I think they're going to take Kool-Aid McKinstry, and this is going to add more definition to that defense. 16th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks hold this, and the Seahawks, man, they have Geno Smith. They just traded for Sam Howell. I was thinking they would take a quarterback, but they have a Sam Howell who's a young quarterback. With the 16th pick, I think they're going to take Byron Murphy. A lot of people have him going to the Bears, the Raiders, even as early as the top 10 pick to the Falcons. But I think Byron Murphy falls to Seattle. They need defensive line help. They need defensive help in general. Byron Murphy, who is a very good defensive tackle, one of the best defensive players in this draft. I think he lands in Seattle. Team up with Leonard Williams on that D-line. And I think the Seahawks, they're kind of a mystery of a team. I don't think they'll be bad, but I don't think they'll be good. I think they're going to be middle of the pack next year. And I think Byron Murphy is going to join Seattle, and he's going to be contender for Defensive Rookie of the Year, who I said earlier Dallas Turner would also be, but I think Byron Murphy lands with the Seahawks at this pick. With the 17th pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be taking Keon Mitchell, the cornerback. They are kind of a mystery of a team as well. They looked good last year, starting 8-3, and they were the number 1 seed for a while. Then they went on the massive losing streak. Trevor Lawrence got banged up, and their defense just looks like bad. They signed Josh Allen to a 1-year deal. They franchise tagged him, and they still haven't worked out a deal with him. They just lost Calvin Ridley to the Titans, which they were almost close to signing him again, but they need cornerback help. I think Keon Mitchell goes there, and the Jags' defense will be better. I think the Jags could contend for the AFC South, but man, Texans, the Colts, and the Titans are going to be a very, very competitive division for them. This is a very tough division in general. The AFC South is forming into one of the best divisions in football, I think. But with this pick, they're taking Keon Mitchell. With the 18th pick, the Cincinnati Bengals are taking Jackson Powers, the best center in the draft. He's really one of the best O-linemen in the draft, to be honest with you. And the Bengals need offensive line help. This is their problem. This year, they just released Jonah Williams. He's going to the Cardinals. They used to have Lowell Collins, but they cut him, and they signed Orlando Brown from the Chiefs last year. Joe Burrow needs help. The Bengals offense is kind of crumbling underneath them, I think. I think Jamar Chase, he's coming up on a big payday next year. T. Higgins got franchise tagged, and we don't know what his future might hold for them. Joe Mixon just got traded to the Texans, and Tyler Boyd is leaving. I'm hearing that the Steelers are in the bidding war with them, as well as the Patriots. And their defense is somewhat decent. They just signed Von Bell back and Sheldon Rankins. They did lose DJ Reader, But the Bengals are going to be kind of the, I think they can make the playoffs. They're definitely a better team. But with this pick, I think they're going to take Jackson Powers. The 19th overall pick, this is the Rams pick, and if you don't know, Aaron Donald just retired, and I think with this pick, they're going to take Chop Robinson, who is projected to go into the second round, but now that Aaron Donald retired, I think Chop Robinson will land with the Rams to replace him. This is the first time the Rams have a first-round pick since the year of 2018, I believe, and they haven't had one in a very long time because they've been trading those picks to get superstar players, which paid off because they won the Super Bowl. The Rams, they're a good team. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams. I think their O-line is pretty solid. They just signed Kevin Dotson to a deal. But their defense is the problem. And now losing to Aaron Donald, that's going to hurt them a lot because he was the best defensive player on that defense. I think Chop Robinson does land with them. A lot of people have him going in the second round, but once again, with Aaron Donald retiring, I think the Rams are going to pull the trigger and take Chop Robinson here. He is going to be probably, he's going to learn the scheme. The Rams defense is very questionable. They just signed Darius Williams back, who was their cornerback a couple years ago. He went to the Jags, got a massive payday there, and he got cut by the Jags a couple days ago, but now he's with the Rams. I think Chop Robinson does learn with him. This is the perfect pick for them. I just think that it just makes sense. So with this pick, I have the Rams taking Chop Robinson. Alright, with the 20th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers hold this pick, and they just trade Kenny Pickett to the Eagles. So quarterback is out of the question as they got Russell Wilson on Monday on a one-year deal. So with this pick, I think they're going to take Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. He's going to go back in the yellow and black. I think this is a perfect pick because they need defensive help, mainly in the secondary. Patrick Peterson just got cut. Cooper DeJean, I think this is the perfect pick here for Pittsburgh. He's very versatile, very fast, and he's the fastest quarterback in this draft, I think. With Kool-Aid McKinstry going to the Colts and Teron Arnold going to the Raiders, those are my two projected picks. At least Cooper DeJean and the Pittsburgh Steelers sit here with quarterback issues, and I think Cooper DeJean is going to fill that role. The Steelers are going to be competitive like always. They're probably going to be, a 10-win team next year. As long as Mike Tomlin's there, they're always going to have 9 to 10 wins. I just don't think that the Steelers will ever be bad. They can be bad as a 10-win team. That's their problem. But with the 20th overall pick, I have the Steelers taking Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. With the 21st overall pick, the Miami Dolphins hold this pick, and I think they're going to take Eladio Latu, the edge rusher. The Dolphins, man, they're going to be a very confusing team, but very competitive team. Their offense is always stacked. They have Tyreek, Tua's somewhat decent. I think he's a top 15 quarterback. Jalen Waddle. I think Raheem Mostert's still a free agent, but they have Devon Achane, who's really good. Their offensive line is good, but they're going to take Latu in this draft. They need edge rushing help. Bradley Chubb towards ACL last year. Towards the end of the year, he's not going to be ready for the start of the year. Andrew Van Ginkel, he left. And I think, what this team needs is some edge rushing. And when they take this guy, Latu, they're going to have a very good edge rush with Bradley Chubb and him going off the other side, Latu, once Chubb is fully healthy. They have Jalen Ramsey. Their secondary is very good, but Dolphins need an edge rusher, and I think this is the perfect fit for them. Thank you for watching. This was the part 2 of my NFL mock draft. This is picks 11 for 21 if you didn't know. It was in the beginning of the video, but I am currently editing this as I'm recording this video. It's going to be probably published tonight. But picks for 22 for 32 will be released tomorrow. I have a couple more picks to do. I still haven't completely finished the mock draft because I kind of want to see what NFL free agency has left for these teams that are, still looking for players. But thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss a video or a short, and make sure to like and share. Peace out, y'all.